Okay. Alright, well, it doesn't really seem like there's a lot of people here. So... somehow it's actually running a little bit better. A little bit better than what it usually runs at. Guess I'll just jump straight into it. Alright, I'm just gonna jump straight into this game. And we're just gonna wait for Echo to open up. Okay. I just never noticed that, but it's a little off center. I adjust it like that. It's a little bit better, but let's see, it's still not really the best. How do I fix that? Oh well, I guess we'll just keep it at that. Without further ado, let's get right into it. I shudder, hugging my body, then look around, trying to find something else to focus on. A grouping of 3 picture frames on a small side table next to the Lupsi catches my attention. From where I'm sitting, I can see Kudzu in one of them, beaming at the camera. It's actually kind of weird to see him smiling like that. There's an arm around his neck, and I start to lean over a bit to see who it is. Here. Kudzu appears in front of me again, holding out a glass of water. I straighten back up against the cushions. Once I take the glass, he holds out his other hand with 2 white pills resting on the back pad of his palm. Acetaminophen? Hoping I'm saying that right. Acetaminophen, if you're in pain. I definitely am, so I take it in a glass without a word and swallow it down. For a second, my stomach sours and it feels like it's going to come back up, but only for a second. Kudzu steps back and watches me. Even though his face maintains stoic, it's almost clear I see his hands fidgeting together in front of his stomach. I nod weakly at the recliner across from me. You want to sit or something? Kudzu seems to consider, then walks over to the recliner. He sits on the very edge of the cushion, back rigid, continuing to stare at me. I take another sip of water, less this time so as to not upset my stomach. It looks like he wants to say something, but he keeps silent, lips pressed together. Kudzu watches me the whole time. What's wrong? Kudzu opens his mouth, then closes it, thinking before opening it again. Are you okay? Yeah, sort of. I mean, I'm not gonna die, I think. I'm not really sure if I'm completely okay. Everything still feels numb. My thoughts feel sluggish too, and something that's been nagging at the back of my mind since I got here, but suddenly bubbles up to the surface. Did you call the police? I absent-mindedly reach for my phone in my pocket, but it's not there. I have no idea where it's at this point. Was it still at Leo's house? There's a tight look of consternation on Kudzu's face. Phones aren't working. Even my landline isn't working. My foggy brain tries to process this. What? Why did the phone lines... What? Did the phone lines break or something? Kutsu shakes his head. I don't know. Should we walk to my car or something and drive to Payton? I look back out the pitch black window. We need to tell someone right now. Janice and Leo is still out there. There's no way Janice hasn't been found by now. There should be police everywhere. Where are the cops? I turn back to Kutsu feeling sick again. Kutsu doesn't say anything and he's got a strange look on his face like he's trying to figure out how to tell me something. Finally, he stands up. I figure something out. Listen, I think you need to get some rest. I frown. But we need to get someone out here. What if Brian comes after me? I shrink in on myself at the thought, feeling goosebumps erupt over my arms. Kutsu steps over to me and awkwardly reaches out to put a hand on my shoulder. You'll be fine. You want to lay down on my bed? I don't say anything, my head's still trying to catch up. It's a waterbed. Kutsu adds as if that makes the offer more tempting. He thinks. You hungry? Have some muffins. Might help you get to sleep. I shake my head. What? No, I want to get the fuck out of here. A loud pop makes me jump and I stand up. I'm not sure about what to do, but Kutsu reaches out gently to hold onto me before pulling me away from the window. Faintly, I can hear some shouting outside, but it's far away. What was that? Someone shooting? I look up at Kutsu, starting to feel desperate. He puts an arm around me, at the same time moving towards the end of the trailer where a big bed is tucked in. I don't know. A lot of things are happening right now, so I think we should stay here to be safe, okay? For now, at least. I hold on to the raccoon, unsure of what to do. Listen. He holds me by both of my arms and I look back at him. You gotta trust me that we can't leave right now. I'll explain all after you've rested for a bit. He pauses. I can tell you're not really here right now. Here right now? You'll feel better once you wake up, alright? The thought of laying down is tempting despite feeling like I'm going insane. If I sleep, I don't have to think. Just blank my mind and rest. My head is buzzing, and I feel like laying down might straighten it out. Hey Anchi, how's it going? Wish I could hang around, but I'm really sleepy. No worries then, buddy. I'm just happy that you tuned in. Just happy that you tuned in with us. We're starting off a bit slow, but that's nothing we can't handle. And hello, Rocky. How's it going, buddy? Or Martin. How's it going, Martin? Alright. Kutsu gently but firmly forces me to sit down on the bed. Despite his slender build, I can feel the strength in his lean muscles. But what about Brian and Duke? Rocky's okay now, using my real name is confusing. I gotcha. Alrighty then. Kutsu slowly pushes me back down onto the bed, the water underneath the surface sloshing faintly. I hope you're doing well too, Rocky. I haven't been on an actual waterbed for years. Carl used to have one. Where is Carl? Where is everyone? I want to go back to the motel and find my friends again, but Kutsu seems adamant on keeping me here. I got Leo's gun, saw it on the ground when I went to check on you guys. He must be able to tell from the look on my face that I'm not at ease because he reaches out again to rest a hand on my chest. It's still awkward, but it's comforting at least. I'll be here all night. Nothing's gonna happen. That does make me feel a little bit better, at least well enough to maybe get some sleep. Okay. I stare at the ceiling as I lay back. I still feel numb, but in a way that helps me blank my mind. In what feels like less than a minute, I pass out. I feel like if I keep walking the train tracks, I'll be able to find my way out of here. I make sure to walk in the middle using planks like stepping stones. The steel rails on either side of me feel like some sort of barrier, a protection to whatever that's out there. I feel a presence in front of me, though, a sort of pressure that builds up as I continue to walk. Looking up, I can see that it's coming from that weird grove of the trees that bunch up around the train yard. Something's crouched in front of that grove, staring at me through the trees. I keep walking, though, because for some reason I don't feel like I have anything to worry about as long as I stay in the tracks. I notice something else behind the hunched figure. A few bulky objects hang from the trees. I know what they are before I can make them out. I keep staring at them as I draw closer, ignoring the thing that's watching me as I do, hearing it breathe as I pass it. Now I can see there are several bodies hanging from the trees. They're of all shapes and species. Some hang by the necks, others by wrist or ankle. One of them passes me within a few feet, and I notice that it doesn't have legs, both of them cut off at the thigh. It's a wolf, and he dangles. Blood stains his dusty cream-colored shirt all the way up to his face. As I pass him, slowly turns on the rope, as if he's following my progress. I look down at the corpse's face, the mouth's hanging out, eyes open wide. It's like he wants to tell me something important. I can feel my body again, but it's numb and heavy. Okay. Slowly, I open my eyes and see the beige ceiling of Kutsu's trailer. I flick my eyes to the right, and I see Kutsu there, but only his back. He seems frozen, like he's in a photo. He's not even breathing. I can't see the window very well from here, but from the small corner I see eyes. Oh shit. When I wake up, Kutsu's next to me in the bed, his back to me, one of his ears folded under his head. Having been with Leo for a few years, I know that it can be pretty painful when you wake up. So I reach up and try to slowly adjust Kutsu's ear from under his head, but he immediately wakes up. He makes a funny snorting sound before suddenly jerking up halfway off the bed looking back at me. I smile sheepishly. Sorry, I was trying to fix your ear. Kutsu reaches up, poking at the ear. Ow. Thanks. I notice on the bedside table that there's a small plate with what looks like blueberry muffin on it. Kutsu notices and reaches out for it. You want to eat? I ate a couple myself. I didn't realize how hungry I was. He lowers his ears. Still one left though. My stomach has settled for the most part, so I take the plate from him. Thanks. It's still dark outside from what I can see. Did we sleep through the whole day? I realize that I've completely lost track of time. What time is it? Kutsu reaches over to the bedside table, grabbing his phone. 2:30 in the morning. I rub my face. Did we sleep through the day or something? No, you were asleep for like 2 hours. Really? I felt like it had been days since what happened at Brian's trailer. Yeah, I found you around at midnight. Kutsu turns nimbly on the rear of his bed, facing me with his legs crossed. How you feeling? I'm okay. Kutsu gives me a long, hard look. Again, he has the expression of wanting to say something, but he's holding back. What is it? Kutsu lets out a breath. Listen, I'm not going to ask what happened with Brian, but if you ever want to talk about it... Talking about Brian is the last thing I want to do, and I can feel the threat of violent shivers coming up my spine just thinking about him. Kutsu reaches out on one of his black hands to rub at my shoulder. Awkward and comforting, as always. I've been through some stuff myself. Kutsu catches himself. Not saying I know what you went through, but I know how it can feel having something really fucked up happening to you. I don't think I've ever seen Kutsu stumble over his words like this. I mean, I'm not trying to say that it's comparable if he, Kutsu trails off, seemingly stunned at his own lack of delicacy. For the first time since I left that trailer, I feel a little bit like laughing. I reach up to rub Kutsu's own arm, feeling it like I need to comfort him now. No, it's fine, man. He didn't do anything like that. At least not how you think he would. Kutsu watches me. I know he's not gonna ask, so I go on. He, has a thing for asphyxiation, I guess. Ooh, jeez. Kutsu's eyes immediately go to my neck. I'm fine, it was just creepy. Creepy definitely doesn't begin to describe it, but I don't think now's the time to go into details. I look out the window again, and aside from a few orange dots from the light from faraway lampposts, it's black. So, can you tell me what's going on now? Kutsu runs a hand through his head first, sighing heavily and looking out the window with me. Sure you don't want to wait until morning? I really don't think I'm going to be able to fall asleep again, honestly. Kutsu continues to stare out the window. That's when I really start to wonder what it was that I missed. Yesterday about noon is when I saw some weird stuff going on. Kutsu looks at me. Your friend, TJ. He came kind of jogging up down the road. My mind flashes back now when I saw TJ running past the diner. I hadn't had time to really figure out what he was doing before Duke barged in. He said someone was after him, and he needed to leave. He talked to you? Where is he? I feel the fur prickling up all over my body. The thought of TJ might be out there, somewhere, still in the chaos is terrifying. How could someone like him survive like that? How could someone like him survive that? I'm certainly doing a terrible job. I don't know. He asked me if I had a car, but I don't, so he kept up on the road. Up the road? There's nothing past Kudzu's trailer aside from Carl's house, and that's over a mile away. But Carl doesn't have a car anymore. Maybe he's just staying with the Ram? I'm hoping that's the case. After he left, though, is when things really started going crazy. Kudzu shakes his head. You know Dale? Yeah. Dale is the only otter in town that my family has left. He was walking up the road with a fucking shotgun, pointing it around and stuff. Is that out of the ordinary for Dale? I want to get back on the topic of TJ. If he went up the road away from town, we could still find him. But he was bleeding, had cuts on his leg, and his jeans were all ripped up. Oh. But he knocked on my door. I didn't open it, but he yelled through it saying there was a meeting in the center of town. What kind of meeting? A fucked up one, apparently. Anyway, I went over to Leo's house to see if he was home. Then I saw the window. Kudzu rubbed the back of his neck, his ears lowering. Obviously, I knew some bad shit happened, but I had no way of knowing what. Anyway, I went to the town center hoping I'd see you two there, but just getting there was crazy. Kudzu looks back at me. Jeremy's house was burning, and Janice's house looked like it had been broken into, too. Jeremy's house? Wait, that was Jenna's house. Didn't run into anyone until I got into the townhouse. This whole thing is just getting bigger and bigger. While I'd been in Brian's trailer, everything had been falling apart outside. But why? What's going on? Kudzu shakes his head. I still don't know that, even after they told me. Who? The older guys. Mark, the mayor, said something about this having happened before, that it was our turn or something. Our turn? What is it? What does that mean? Kudzu shakes his head again. I don't know. They just said it happened to the grandparents and that we had to be ready. Ready? Did they tell us what to do? Sit to pray. Is that all they told you? Basically, acted like there was nothing we could do about it, and Kudzu pauses. What? They also said we can't leave and showed us a body. Kudzu stops talking, and I stare. Like a dead body? Kudzu swallows and nods. What is going on? I feel my voice rise in pitch as Kudzu puts up his hands as if he was trying to quiet me down. I don't know, but there's some weird cuts on the body. They said we can't leave because something out there will stop us if we try to leave town. I stare at Kudzu. Like a serial killer or something? They wouldn't say. They acted like it's a monster. Well, then they're lying, right? Kudzu's quiet for a moment, then shakes his head. After everything that I've seen, I just don't know. Well, I think, trying to figure out what the hell we're going to do. Well, we need to find Leo at least. Kudzu nods like he's already thought about that. Then maybe get my car and at least try to leave. Kudzu doesn't say anything to that. But if we can't leave, for whatever reason, then we have to at least find the rest of my friends. I look at Kudzu. Well, I do. I don't know what you're going to be. Kudzu gives me a wry smile. Well, I don't have anywhere else to go, aside from out of here. Besides, I owe it to Leo to get him out. I feel a warm rush of relief flow over me, knowing Kudzu will be with me. I don't think I'll be able to do any of this alone. So, are we gonna go get Leo? Kudzu nods. Well, I am at least. You should really stay here. Get some more rest after what you went through. Of course I'd rather stay here and hide until Kudzu comes back, but Leo tried to save me back at the diner, and he risked his life to do it. After everything Leo had done for me, I owe him too. No, I'm gonna go with you. Kudzu shakes his head. I don't think so. It'll make things easier if it's just me. Kudzu shifts, looking towards the kitchen. Besides, I have Leo's gun with me in case something goes wrong. He was my boyfriend. I can't just sit here while you save him. Kudzu pauses. Listen, I know Leo, and I know that he would never want me to bring you into something like this. Yeah, well, Leo not wanting me to do something never stopped me before. Getting defiant like this is making me feel better. It gives me a purpose again. Kudzu looks like he's about to shake his head again, but I continue. Besides, I might help things. One of us could go in while the other distracts Duke or something. Kudzu looks unsure, so I press my advantage, and if something goes wrong, one of us would be there to help the other. Kudzu pulls out one of his whiskers. Maybe, if it's just Duke there. He might not even be there. He might be at Brian's trailer somewhere else around town. Kudzu sighs and looks me right in the eyes. Are you sure you want to do this? I'm not, but I nod anyway. Oh boy. It's Sunday. We try to keep it off the road in the brush on our way to Duke's house. Despite the situation, the biggest thing on my mind right now is ticks. Funny how the mind works. The faint shouts and yells coming from the town are more frequent now. Another pop continues from that direction. It reminds me of the gun that Kutsu had tucked into his waistband. He never used one before, and it took us a solid couple of minutes to decide if we should even stick it there. Another pop. I can't help but think that that's where the motel is, where Jenna might be. Here, though, not much is out of place aside from the smell of smoke on the breeze. That is, until we come across a body hanging from a tree about 100 yards from Duke's house. I'm the first to notice it, and when I do, I gasp and instinctively reach for Kutsu. He catches my hand, and then he looks up as he holds to me. It's high up, maybe 50 feet, but the markings on the fur, I think it's a fox. Oh, Jesus. Kutsu whispers next to me as I look away, feeling my stomach turn again. What the hell? How did he get up there? I look back and see that he's hanging by his wrist. I don't think he could have done that by himself. Yeah. We both stare up at him for a little while longer, long enough to notice the long vertical slashes down his back. Those are the same cuts I saw on the other guy. Kutsu whispers distractedly. But who put him up there? Kutsu's silent and I keep staring up at the guy, the first dead guy that I've ever seen. Suddenly all my motivation to get Leo starts to evaporate. Kutsu rests a hand on my shoulder and I jump. Oh, sorry. Kutsu pats me. You alright? I'll take you back, okay? That sounded like the best idea in the world right now. I hesitate. When I think of Leo, I imagine him being in the same situation I was with Brian. Duke didn't seem as fucked up, but I have no idea what he's capable of. That thought makes me feel as if my heart is dropping to the ground, so I grit my teeth and shake my head. No, I'm okay. Kutsu looks at me closely, then nods. Okay, let's move back towards the road, though. I don't think anyone is around here right now anyway. I want to move back towards the road, too, mainly because I'm actually starting to worry that moving further away from the town is really dangerous. Duke's house is dark as we approach it. As we get closer, though, I see flashes of light from a window well. We both crouch next to the house, behind a small cluster of sagebrush. Alright, so all I can really think is to knock on the door and see if he's there. I swallow. You stay hiding, of course, but if he does come out, I don't know, I may try to put him down right there. Then I'd come out and help. Kutsu lets out a low chuckle. Yeah, but again, I'm not sure if that's what I'll do. Might be able to talk him out of this. Yeah. I don't have that much faith in that plan. But if he isn't there, well, we'll probably go in and find Leo, right? Okay. My heart rate picks up as I realize how close we are to making this happen. I start to have second thoughts. Maybe we should have at least looked for the sheriff? Maybe we should have gone straight to the motel. Alright. I can tell Kutsu is nervous too, as he wipes his hands on his tank top before standing up slowly. Just watch from here. If he comes out with his gun, though, I'm not going to try anything. He hesitates. And if I get shot or something, don't help. Just run back to my house and start looking for your other friends, I guess. Now I'm really starting to feel unprepared for all of this. Everything is moving way too fast. Mist, hi! Welcome on into the Blep Pack. The Blepper welcomes you. I'm happy to have you here, buddy. How you doing? There really isn't any time, though. We have to save Leo as soon as possible. There's no telling what Duke might be doing with them. As Kutsu starts to move away, I get the urge to hug him. He's done so much for me already, saving me and now trying to save Leo. But by now, he's already halfway across the yard to the house. You're doing good? That's good to hear, buddy. I'm glad to hear that you're doing good. I hold my breath and I watch Kutsu's dark form melt in with the blackness of the house. Kutsu is a Chad. He is an actual Chad. It's like he's being swallowed up by it in a way. After a few moments I hear him knock on the door. I listen, trying to breathe through my mouth instead of my whistling nose so I can better hear what's going on. Kutsu knocks again, much more loudly. Hey, it's good. I need some help. I look up and down the road, worried someone's going to hear us shouting. There's a slight rustling behind me and I look back, eyes wide. I don't see anything at first, but then I feel like there's a shape behind another grove of sagebrush about 20 feet back. Something crouched, the moonlight defining its shape through the brush. I squint, completely stopping my breathing. It looks like it's a tail, a really thick one like an otter. Was it Dale? I can't tell if it's really a person, though. We got furry barbecue tomorrow at the park. It's gonna be so much fun. Oh, that sounds delightful. I wish I could come. That actually sounds like a really good, like, that sounds like a really fun day. I wish I had those fun days like that. But I'm sure you're gonna have a lot of fun though. And hey, you're cooking for people too. I can't even tell if it's really a person though. Chase! Kudzu whispers, shouts, and I jump before stumbling to my feet. The shape behind me doesn't move at all, and I try to reassure myself that it's probably a rock. Our local fur group here is amazing. Yeah. Someday I gotta come and see ya. And I gotta try out the miscook. I jog over to Kudzu as he tries the door, trying not to think too much about what I just saw. It's locked. He looks around for a while, then starts moving down to the side of the house. Look for a window. Are we gonna break one? Maybe. Should only take us a few minutes to sweep the house, then we can get the hell out. We quickly spot a window in the back of the house. Kudzu looks in and bites his lip. I'm just worried that Duke might still be in there with a gun or something. He bends over, picking up a sizable rock. Well, not much of a choice. If I say run, run. You got it? I nod, and Kudzu lifts the rock above his head before smashing it through the window. The sound is probably the loudest fucking thing I've ever heard in my life. I cover my own ears like it's gonna lessen the sound. Kudzu jumps to the side away from the window, reaching back to hold on to me. The fur in Kudzu's body frizzes up, and I see his ears perked up as far as they can go. Once the final tinkling of glass subsides, we both listen. My ears are ringing, but the only other sound that I can hear is the chirping of crickets. Finally, Kudzu lets out a soft breath. Alright, let's go. I help him push out a few more shards of glass. Once that's done, the raccoon hoists himself inside, very carefully maneuvering around the sharp broken edges. He turns and reaches out to me, helping me through the same fashion. Even though I'm trying to be careful when I bring out my arm and it drags along a jagged edge of glass sticking out from the side. I grimace, the fiery pain taking a moment to really set in. Oh shit, you okay? He grabs my wrist so he can pull my arm up to examine it by the moonlight and sucks in a breath. Oh fuck, you might need stitches for that. That's when I see the blood starting to ooze up from the fur. It's only about an inch long, but the amount of blood coming out is surprising. Damn it, I'll take care of it after we find Leo. I pull my arm away despite Kudzu still trying to take a look at it. Alright, let's see if we can't find something to wrap it up in. Kudzu starts fumbling around the wall and finds a light switch. I'm surprised to see a fairly quaint and tidy home. Unlike Kudzu's trailer though, there's barely anything in it. There's a single sofa, a very old-fashioned TV, and what I presume is the living room. There's a fireplace and a few dirty-looking chairs on the other end of the room. In front of us is a long hallway with a few doors on both sides. Alright, check every room and door. It's not a very big house. Kudzu sets off down the hall. Look for stairs. I feel like he'd be in the basement. As Kudzu goes into a room to the left, I peer into one on the right. It looks like a bedroom with a single twin in the middle of the room. I take a few steps in, looking around, and not seeing anything else. When I turn back around, I do see some picture frames hung up on the wall. Seems kind of odd for someone like Duke to have those up. In the pictures, I see a much younger Duke, or at least a pre-meth Duke. Next to him is a female weasel. Her smile small compared to Duke's tooth-bearing grin. She's in 3 of the other pictures next to that one too. Weird. I wouldn't have thought anyone would want to be with Duke, especially someone as pretty as that weasel. I move on to the next room, and this one is completely empty, painted white. The next door down is the last one on the right side of the hall. This is the only door that's closed, and just like the last room's walls, it's painted white. It's taller, and it seems to be a bit thicker than the other doors. When I try the knob, it's locked. Kudzu? I whisper, and Kudzu pokes his head out from the door just behind me. What's up? I point at the door in front of me. This one's locked. Kudzu stands in front of the door and presses his ear to it. I see his hand hover in front of the crack between the door and its frame. Then he reaches out to my hand and pulls it up to the same spot. He looks at me. You feel that? I'm about to say no, but that's when there's a noticeably cooler draft coming from within. It's kinda cold. The basement. I bet my ass that Leo's down there. I swallow. Should we try to break down the door or something? I don't Kutsu's ears suddenly perk up straight, and his eyes widen. My fur bristles out. What? That's when I hear it. The crunching of gravel. Kutsu grabs my arm and starts pushing me back down the hall towards the back room with the Oh, shit. At that moment, I hear the knob turn, and suddenly my path changes directions. Kutsu steers me to the room on our left. It's one of the rooms I haven't looked into myself, and I see that it's a storage room. Boxes are everywhere, so it's a bunch of junk. I guess that explains why all the other rooms are so spotless, and is not using the basement for storage. Kutsu looks around desperately for a moment, then pulls me behind a mound of boxes just as I hear the door swinging open. The problem ain't that he got away. Duke is practically screeching when he comes inside as if he's waiting to be indoors before he yelled. Gotta go be back soon, and good luck, you're gonna need it. Oh shoot, well that's reassuring. Thank you, Rocky. But you take care, buddy. I'll see you soon. Underneath Duke's pattering feet on the wooden floor, I hear two loud thumps, and I know immediately who's with them. My blood runs cold and my breathing seems to stop, worried that they'll be able to hear even that. If he's behind all this, he's gonna make things so much worse. Huh. I hear a non-committal grunt from the bear, and I shudder at the sound of his voice again. I feel a light touch on my back as Kutsu rests his hand there trying to comfort me. What do you mean, huh? You like the dreams you're having right now? 'Cause trust me, it's gonna get a hell of a lot worse. I hear a smacking sound, which I imagine is Duke's tiny hand trying to slap Brian in the face. What the fuck you staring at? Duke's grating nasally voice echoes throughout the carpetless house. Your window. There's a moment of silence as I hear them shifting around, then I suddenly hear Duke's footsteps bustle down the hall. I duck more deeply behind the... Okay. Fuck! Is someone fucking in here? Brian lumbered down the hall, basically standing right in front of our room. I hear two more thumps and a bunch of rustling as Duke ineffectually beats at the bear's bulk. Fucking idiot, they broke in! I hear jingling of keys as Duke continues to shout. Check every fucking room. I bet they broke through the basement window too. Fuck! Now that he says it, breaking through the basement window might have been a better idea. Looking between a crack in the boxes, I get a flash of the weasel walking past the door again. He's holding something long and shiny. I shrink back against the boxes, wondering how in the world I got here. I stare at the ground, also wonder if I'm about to have a heart attack. I focus on watching the blood seep from my arm, pooling on the wooden floor next to me. I hear a key go in the lock and doorknob turn. I swear to God, if that wolf ain't down there, I'll blow your goddamn face off! So he is down in the basement. Okay. Duke's voice fades away, accompanied by receding footsteps down the stairs. The heavy footfalls of Brian start to move slowly down to the other end of the hall. Kutsu moves his hand up to my shoulder. I look at him and he holds a finger up to his lips, then points in the direction of the broken window. I don't want to move at all. In fact, I think I'd rather sit here and just disappear into the floor. Somehow, though, I'm able to force myself Somehow, though, I'm able to force myself to my feet as Kutsu tugs me up. We move very slowly to the doorway, and there Kutsu holds up a hand, making me pause. I watch his ears perk, flicking in the direction of Brian. My hearing probably isn't as good as his, but I'm still able to pick up the bear's heavy, labored breathing. I hear some shuffling, then some more heavy footsteps. Kutsu freezes as we both listen to the bear move back into the hallway, then his footsteps fade away. I imagine he's moving to another room, and that's when Kutsu finally peers around the corner. I hold my breath, but Kutsu reaches back and grabs my wrist, pulling me out into the hallway. It's empty, and quietly and as quickly as we can, we move to the end of the hall to stand next to the broken window. Kutsu sticks out one leg out the window before balancing his entire weight on both his hands that are resting on the bottom edge. Like a gymnast, he moves his other leg out and quietly drops to the ground outside, his head narrowly missing the top ledge. I don't know if it's because he's a raccoon or an actual gymnast, but there's no way in hell that I'm going to be able to do that. Kutsu's already reaching for me though, his eyes wide with frantic worry. I can hear shuffling sounds behind me again, coming from one of the rooms. Kutsu reaches out towards me, then suddenly waves his hand wildly in the direction of the room right next to me. Heart pounding, I almost stumbled through the doorway into the room. This one has a few chairs stacked up against the side wall, and what looks like a closet door. Brian's footsteps thump down the hall again, and I almost gasp as I get a glimpse of his massive shadow through the doorway. But then it disappears, and I hear his footsteps move into the room right next to me. From just inside the room, I see Kutsu slowly pop back up in front of the window, then motion frantically towards himself. My legs are like jelly though, and I hesitate. Go, dude! You gotta go! There's a raspy dragging sound in the room next to me that almost makes me jump. It's the sound of cardboard box being slid across the floor. I hear Brian mumbling. Definitely not paint. I force my numb feet to stumble out into the hallway toward the window. Kuji reaches for me, his eyes are desperate. But then I hear the shuffling sound behind me again. Why is he moving so fast now? Automatically, I step back into the room where Kuji continues to beckon himself. Brian's lumbering footsteps move down the hallway slowly in my direction. Kuji has ducked back down out of sight. I'm alone, and I'm trapped. I remember the closet at the last minute and lunge towards it, not having enough time to worry about the sound I make. Somehow the closet door glides open with hardly a sound, as if the hinge had just been recently greased. I step inside, then swing the door shut, trying not to let it snap closed. At that exact moment, Brian's lumbering gait enters the room. I shrink back against the wall, holding my hands to my mouth, trying not to breathe. My heartbeat is so loud that the only thing I can hear as it pounds my ears. I hear coughing and grunting coming from behind the door, and then it goes quiet. I wait, unsure of whether the bear has left or not. Slowly, I walk up to the door, pressing the side of my head gently against it. I'm trying to see if I can hear anything. I swallow, then reach up to rest my hand on the doorknob. I think about making a run for it, maybe trying to dive through the window. I might get hurt, but if I'm able to get away, I wait for what feels like 2 or 3 more minutes. It's complete silence on the other side. I wait even longer to the point where I'm sure there's no way that someone like Brian could keep that quiet for that long. So slowly, and as slowly as I can, I push the door open. And it immediately comes into contact with something on the other side before even a foot is open. It's soft, whatever it is, and the door almost bounces back from it. Ooh, shit. Ooh, shit. I wait for a moment, then as I'm starting to realize what just happened, a massive bear paw reaches around the edge of the door, and the next half second the door is ripped open, and I find myself facing Brian. A weird numbing feeling spreads down from my crotch and into my legs, and I sag in front of the bear. My mind refuses to think, even to proceed to what my eyes are seeing. What it does process is pure terror. Brian seems to have trouble understanding what he's seeing as well. He stares at me for a few seconds, his eyes practically crossing as he focuses on me, then he grins. Hey, you! I can't respond. Instead, I press back into the closet, flattening myself against the wall as he reaches out to me. Still, there isn't much I can do as he grabs the front of my shirt and yanks me out of the closet. He starts to pull me toward the doorway as I stumble into the hall, and I'm finally able to start trying to move again. Seeing the window, I lunge toward it, but Brian's grip is too strong. You hear a few popping sounds as some threads in my shirt give out, and Brian yanks me back violently. Everything goes black as something massive knocks against the side of my face, and the next thing I know, I'm thrown into the wall, hull flat on my back. I'm staring up at the ceiling, watching it slide sideways above me like it's pointing into a treadmill. My right foot is hiked into the air, and I realize Brian's dragging me along the floor now, back toward the end of the hall. The front of my back glides easily along the hardwood, my shirt scrunching up to my chest. Brian stops as he reaches the white door, pushing it open. Dizzily, I look up the window, wonder if Kutsi is still there and he can see me. I reach towards it, but that's when I'm being dragged again, and I land painfully on the first step. I gasp and turn sideways so that Brian drags me clumsily down the rest of the steps so my spine isn't taking the rest of the corners. It's dark, and the air turns cool and musty. We finally reach the bottom of the steps, pain pulsing at various points in my body from the rough handling. Brian starts dragging me again, and I finally realize that he's going to have me trapped again. He'll do whatever his sick mind thinks of, and there won't be anybody there to stop him. No. I moan and I try to grab something, anything to stop me from being pulled deeper into this basement. My hand manages to latch onto a wooden beam next to the stairs. Brian grunts as my body is snapped into full extension and we're brought to a halt. Come on, let go. I keep clinging to the beam, imagining that at any moment Kuchi's gonna come down running down the stairs with his gun in hand. That comes to an end as Brian kicks me in the chest and I let go with the wheeze. You know, you're the one making this hard on yourself. He starts dragging me again as I curl up and cradle my chest, vaguely hoping that he'd give me a heart attack and I'd be free from all this. I swear to God, if you're lying to me, Leo, I'm gonna paint the ceiling with your fucking brains. Why am I still here if someone came in to save me then? The sound of Leo's voice has me snapping my eyes open again. While it isn't quite as heartening as Kudzu barging in with the weapon, it's definitely relieving to hear his voice again. I'm dragged through another doorway into a brightly lit room, the fluorescent light buzzing overhead. As I come to a stop on the cement floor, the room goes quiet and I squint against the sudden light. The walls and sides are all covered in shelves that are filled with silver tins and soup cans. A storage room of some kind. Duke is standing in the middle of the room next to a metal chair, staring at me. And that chair is Leo. His arms are down on his knees, and I can see that they're both handcuffed to the side of the chair. His feet are similarly strapped to the chair's legs. His face is one of shock as he also stares at me, open-mouthed. I stare back, even feeling weirdly self-conscious as everyone watches me. Duke breaks the silence. I knew it! Duke is snarling, but it's not at me. Instead, he's looking at Brian, his lips drawn back as he growls. This is what the fuck happens. Brian scratches his head. What happens? Duke kicks at the air with the foot, stamping down on the hard cement that makes up the floor of the room. This! Leo wasn't supposed to know he got away. Well, I caught him, so what's the difference? Duke lunges at Brian, swinging his first arms a few times to beat his fists uselessly against the bear's bulk. Brian flinches back anyway, letting go of my foot. Leo's still staring down at me, his mouth slightly less open, and I have no idea what's going on in his mind right now. I suddenly realized how stupid I was to come here with Gutsu. Sure, saving Leo as soon as possible was important, but why had I thought we could have done it alone? I should be in my car right now, halfway to Peyton, 20 minutes away from the cops. Instead, I'm in Duke's basement, about to be murdered. I slowly sit up as Duke seems to finish beating at Brian. Gasping, he turns to me. Fuck. Well, if you're here, I guess we'll just have to make use of you. He waves his hand loosely between me and Brian. Pick him up. Wait a second, just... Shut up. Brian picks me up roughly, almost encircling my chest with his hands alone, as he pins my arms to my sides. He holds me in front of Leo, and Duke stands to the side between us. It's only now that I notice the puffiness in Leo's left eye, some crust of blood near his brow with some more coming from his lower lip. It's not terrible, but it's clear that he's been hit a few times. As I watch him, I can see the fear of his eyes reflected back at me. That alone almost scares me more than the situation that we're in. Ah, not smirking anymore, are ya? Duke bares his teeth in Leo's direction. I've been trying to wipe it off your face this whole time, and it turns out this is all I needed to do with it. Duke gestures at me. You little fuck got her, huh? Leo closes his eyes and shakes his head. Why are you here? He mumbles that almost to himself. Huh? Duke leans closer to the wolf. Why didn't you run if you got away? Leo opens his eyes and is looking straight at me. I don't know if he expects me to answer, but the look of defeat on his face makes me feel like I have to. We wanted to save you. We didn't know where you were or what was happening. Duke suddenly leans away from Leo towards me. His eyes are narrowed. We? Who's we? I feel my stomach open. I feel my stomach drop as I realize what I've just done. I mean, all of us. I saw some of my friends out there before I came here, but I'm alone. Duke studies me closely. Was there anyone else up there, Brian? Brian is sulking behind me, letting go of his shoulder occasionally to rub his chin. Didn't see nobody set this order. Duke looks up at the ceiling like he's listening for footsteps or something. Duke. Duke snaps his attention back to Leo, and I notice his face is practically dancing with twitches and ticks. This is crazy. Leo enunciates each word with his gritted teeth, with his muzzle lowered so he's looking at Duke eye to eye. Look at this. Look at everything that you've done. It makes no sense. Duke lets out a high-pitched laugh. Crazy? You know what's crazy? Duke gestures at me again. Ask him what he saw out there. Duke turns to face me, swinging his hand from me to Leo. Go on, tell him. He doesn't believe me. The corner of Duke's eye seems to have a mind of its own, like there's some kind of living creature under the surface, writhing around. Was it a little crazy? I stare at Duke, entranced until Brian gives me a quick jerk. I saw a body. There were gunshots. Duke giggles. And that ain't the half of it. Houses on fire, people eating each other. You'd think I'm crazy for shooting Janice, but if you knew. But how the hell are we supposed to know why that is? Leo leans forward as far as his bonds let him, eyes wide, almost pleading with Duke. This started when you got here. Duke lowers his voice dangerously, leaning back towards Leo, the nose is almost touching. That doesn't mean shit. Leo speaks haltingly back to the weasel. Does this? Uh-oh. Duke suddenly pulls a gun from the waistband of his pants and points it straight at my face. I'm barely able to comprehend before Ryan jumps to the side with me, out of the way with the gun. Fucking Christ, Duke, don't point it at me! Leo almost stands up to his toes with the chair still attached to his body, fur bristled out over his body. Duke's lowered the gun though, still watching Leo. Leo slumps back into the chair, trembling. Just stop it, Duke, I don't know anything! Duke stares for a moment at the wolf, frowning, then he looks down at his gun as if contemplating something. Slowly he looks at me, then points the gun at Leo. No, my hunch jumps to Timothy and Brian was to hold on to me as they try to hold out my hands. Wait, what are you doing? Maybe it's just you, Otter. What? It's you who I was seeing before you got here. And it was you I saw sneaking around at night. What the hell are you talking about? I feel myself start to panic as I see Duke's finger tighten up around the trigger. I don't know what's happening! Leo's doing his best to keep his head out of line with the fire, leaning his head as far to the side as he can. Duke doesn't seem to be paying attention to him though, instead keeping his eyes on me. Just explain to me why you think it's me. Maybe I can help. But it seems to get some sort of reaction out of Duke as he lowers the gun just a bit. The problem now though is that it's pointed at Leo's chest, and there's no way he can dodge that. Duke is studying me closely as if he were trying to figure out what to say. You know this has happened before. My mind races. The mass hysteria thing like 100 years ago? Yeah, that's right. You see, how do you know that? He looks closely at me, but I'm relieved that he finally takes the gun away from Leo to be pointed at the ground. I did some research before coming here. I'm doing a new story on Echo for school. Duke is still eyeing me suspiciously. So you know about the murder? I try to think back to my research about what exactly happened. It was a while ago now, and I plan to fill the gaps when I got back to Pueblo. Kind of. It happened in the mine. Yeah, it did. And then people went nuts. I wait, but Duke doesn't go on, filling the air with an awkward silence. I can see Leo's head looking back and forth, probably trying to come up with a new way to get out of this. Alright, let me just save here. I'm hoping that he's figuring something out, because I have no idea how we're going to do about that. But do you know why? I'm trying to sit through Duke's psyche, try to figure out why he thinks that this might be related to Leo and I. Duke's breathing has leveled off, and with some calmness, there's a feeling that we managed to ride out the storm. My grandpappy lived through it all and stayed in the town after. Oh? I notice Leo's not looking around anymore. Instead, his eyes are trained on the door behind me and slightly to my right. Hey there, I actually don't know how to say your name, I'm sorry. Welcome on in. I have terrible memory, so I don't really know how to pronounce names that well. But I'm glad you decided to join us. I want to look back, but Duke seems distracted right now, so I keep him engaged. Yeah, it happened weeks after the body was found, sort of built up till all hell broke loose. Leo nods his head slightly, eyes still on the door, and my heart beats in my chest as I realize what might be happening. Do you know why that was? Duke shakes his head. There's something bad in this town. The earth's bad, the air is bad, everything's tainted. So, you think something in the air or water or something? I lean a bit to the left to try to keep Duke's eyes on me, away from Leo or the door. I don't know about that, but my grandpappy thought that because they didn't match the murder, it planted some seeds in the bad dirt. Duke looks at the ceiling. It grew something terrible. Wasn't until they killed that guy that did it that stopped. That's news to me. I didn't read anywhere that the murder had been caught. I took code. Hey Bandit, welcome on in. Thank you so much for the host. How's it going, buddy? Welcome back into the wolf pack. Or no, the Blep pack. The Blep welcomes you. I didn't read anywhere that the murder had been caught. Duke looks back down at me. So I don't know what it is, if it's a murder or guilt or not, catching someone that did wrong. I hear the softest sound of a footpad against the floor behind me, and pray that none of the others did. But it started when you got here, so you gotta forgive me for wondering if one of you did something bad. Duke starts to raise the gun again, and brought that guilt back to this poison land to grow the seeds again. Duke doesn't sound like himself at all, not even his recently crazy self. Still though, I don't want to admit it, I start to have an idea what Duke might be getting at. how this all fits into our history. What was that kid's name a while back that died in the lake? He wasn't murdered. You sure about that? Yes! But I'm not, am I? I swallow hard and aware that some of the pieces don't fit, despite how disturbing the implications are. But that was years ago. Why didn't it start then? Why now? Duke shrugs. Maybe you wasn't guilty till now. Maybe kids don't understand what they've done. Maybe it's 'cause you left and made it angry. But he wasn't murdered. You see it happen? No, but the person that did wouldn't ever do that. So am I talking to the wrong guy right now? Who was it? I look over at Leo again, swallowing hard. Who was it? Duke starts to raise the gun again, and what happens over the course of the next minute is too fast for me to comprehend until it's over. Leo explodes out from his sitting position, faced with twisted rage as he bares his teeth full on a wolf snarl. Though his feet are handcuffed to the legs of the chair, he's still able to lunge off the ground with his feet. He launches himself at Duke, slamming into the weasel with the painful crunch of flesh on flesh and metal and concrete. I gasp and I watch as Leo starts ripping into Duke. Oh, shoot! Duke screams and flails his arms around, apparently forgetting his weapon as it flies from his fingers. The gun slides across the ground to tap gently against the wall, just 5 feet from me. Brian keeps a tight grip on me though, but that's when I hear a clicking sound behind me. Brian does too, and he turns sideways, allowing me to see the source as well. Our boy Kudzu! And there stands Kudzu, both hands on Leo's handgun as he points it up at Brian's head. It clicks uselessly though, and Kudzu's face is mixed and mask. Oh no, it's out of ammo, dude. The safety. Leo's still struggling on the ground with the screaming Duke, lifting his mouth from the weasel arm to shout at Kudzu. Kudzu's eyes snap to the gun with his hand, but Brian's already moving. He kicks at Kudzu's hand and it connects violently, sending the gun flying into the air to clap against the ceiling. Brian lets go of me at that point, reaching out to catch the gun. We got another choice. I mean, we wouldn't be able to do anything, so going for Duke's gun would be the best option, right? Because no one's fighting over Duke's gun, I realize that this might be my best chance. I lunge in the opposite direction. Clumsily, I scoop up the weasel's gun, turning it over into my hands until I'm holding it the right way. Brian, my gun! Leo's still tearing away at the weasel as Duke holds him up in defense. I turn around and crouch back against the wall as I see Brian standing over a downed Kudzu. I can only pray that he hasn't killed him. I point the gun at Brian just as he turns around to face me. Seeing that he's about to get shot, the bear lunges at me, his massive paw stretching up towards me. Luckily for me, the gun is loaded. Trying to keep myself steady, I manage to find a safety and flick it off. I shoot him right in the face. The sound is so loud in the tiny room that my hearing goes out for a moment. Brian crumples to the floor and the room goes quiet, but only for a moment. An earthly howling sound comes from the bear as he slowly props himself up on his hands, looking back up at me. For a moment, I wonder if the evil powers of Echo had brought him back to life somehow. But no, there's a bloody hole just above his blunt nose, and I can see a white... The bullet hadn't even pierced through his skull. Shakily, I raise the gun again, but Brian rolls away to the floor, and with speed that shouldn't be possible for a bear's size, he's gone. I stare for a moment, wondering if I should run after him, but a snarl next to me is pointing the gun at Duke instead. Leo's still tearing into his arms as Duke hollers out at the top of his lungs, trying to cover his face. Leo, stop! I've got the gun on him! Leo looks up at me with his wild eyes, pausing for a moment before slowly letting go of the mustelid's arms, bloody drool hanging from his chin. I try to ignore that and to keep the gun trained on Duke's head as Leo flops to the side of his chair. After seeing how little the bullet had affected Brian, I'm not so confident it will do much damage to Duke. Maybe bears just have thicker skulls, but I'm more worried that the gun is just shit. Duke doesn't move though as he lays back against the concrete, his eyes closed, gasping for breath. His arms are at his sides, both of them leaking blood on the ground. Leo really did a number on them. He definitely needs to go to the hospital. A hand touches my shoulder and I jump. I look back and see that it's Kudzu. Sorry, you okay? Leo's gun hangs loosely from one of his hands. Kudzu, you fucking saved our lives! I grin at him as I almost sob with relief. I want to hug him, but I have to keep the gun on Duke. Of course, I'm sorry I didn't stop when he took you. I wasn't sure what to do. He touches my shoulder again, and I can feel him trembling. Hey, don't worry about it. We're okay now. Can someone get me out of these handcuffs, please? My arms are fucking killing me. Killing you? You ripped mine apart! Duke is practically sobbing now curled up on his side to hold his arms to his chest. Fuck you, asshole. Leo spits at him as he tries to adjust his position on the... You know what? That is very well justified. That he deserves that. Putting my boy Leo like that, and then having Brian tie us up to to that, he deserved that. Where are the keys, Duke? Duke takes in a shuddering breath and holds it for a few seconds before answering. Right pocket. Kutsu walks over and kneels next to the weasel, sifting through his pocket. Keep an eye on the door, Chase, in case Blubber Gut comes back. I try to angle myself so I can keep an eye on both the door and Duke, even though I'm pretty sure the latter is through at this point. Kutsu pulls the small metal key out before moving over to Leo, fumbling around for a good while before the handcuffs finally drop to the ground. Leo kneels there for a moment, wringing out his wrists. You okay? He smiles at me. I'm a little sore, but I think I'll be alright. I missed our boy Leo. I missed the big boy Leo. I'm glad to see that he's good. He gets unsteadily to his feet, taking a pair of handcuffs up with him before bending quickly to give him a kiss on the head. I'm so happy you're okay, Chase, and thank you, Kutsu. He slaps the raccoon on the back before turning his attention to the weasel. Duke notices and quickly curls up tighter. I was just trying to help everyone. Ah! Leo grabs him by his bloodied arms before yanking him violently to his feet. The weasel screams double as the wolf twists those arms behind his back, handcuffing them. Why the hell do you have so many handcuffs anyway? Duke starts slapping again until Leo whips him around and slaps him across the face. Duke sways, stunned by the power of the blow before Leo brings his hand back and hits him on the other cheek. Shut the fuck up. You know what? Again, very well justified. They kept him down here too. He deserves that. Leo ignored Kutsu as he pulls the chair back up and throws Duke into it so violently that I almost tips over. Please, I'm sorry. I just want to help. Duke covers as Leo raises his hand again. I realize how tightly I'm holding onto the gun, and though I'm pointing at the ground now, I'm sure to take my finger off the trigger. While Leo's violence is a little disturbing, it's almost comforting to have him throw his weight around after how the weasel had threatened us. Kutsu, on the other hand, doesn't look comforted at all. He's still trembling from the earlier fight, and he's pulling out the fur on his chin as he watches Leo. Careful, Leo. Let's just take him into the cops or something. Kutsu looks over his shoulder at the door. Going to Peyton was probably a better idea now that I realize how messed up everyone is. Yeah. I mean, if that monster that they're all talking about isn't real, would have been better to risk that than get involved with these idiots. I haven't even thought about the supposed thing keeping everyone from leaving the town. It honestly seems silly now, and would let a stupid story like that keep us here. Leo doesn't seem to be listening. You're a fucking lunatic, Duke. Why shouldn't I just kill you right now? Leo! Leo looks over his shoulder at us, finally shaking his head at Kutsu conspiratorially. Hopefully I said that right. Kutsu goes silent as Leo goes back to staring down at the weasel. Now explain to us what the hell is going on. Leo leans in closer with the bloody muzzle, and Duke cringes back. Tell the truth, and maybe I'll let you go. Leo glances at me. I won't kill you, at least. He's trying to make it clear to me that he's just trying to scare Duke. Or at least that's what I hope he's doing. I already explained! Duke's eyes dart back and forth between us. The way he's kicking his feet around with a high-pitched, whiny voice makes me think of a child. Really ugly, malnourished child. I still feel a little bad for him, though. Remind me, because I was a little fucking distracted. Kutsu sidles up next to me and sets his hand on my shoulder. You want to watch the door? I touch his hand at acknowledgement and turn around to face the door. I don't really think Brian's going to be coming back, though. I told you, something bad's going on and we need to figure out what. Yeah, but how did kidnapping us help anything? Duke sighs deeply and I glance over my shoulder to see him slumping in defeat. Last time this happened, it might have been caused by murder. Not the murder, but that the guy got away with murder. Ah! This is... Okay, so this is kind of correlating to Carl's story. Because I think it was John. I think it was John in the last story that I guess was the serial killer who killed all the children, and then he hanged James. And then he placed the blame on James for the murders. Interesting. Okay. There's a moment of silence. Okay. Leo's tone demands that Duke go on. So the guilt from the guy, or the worry in the town, just spirits back. Heck, I don't know. Maybe all of that, but it just came together to make everything go crazy. Okay, sure, but how does this have anything to do with us? I saw the otter sneaking around town before he says they got here. I look back again and see Duke looking at me. So is Leo. Seemed kind of fishy to me, so I thought he might have something to do with it all. It was my only lead. Leo doesn't. That was James, Carl's ancestor. That was the. Okay, so I am getting him. Oh, I am an absolute baboon. It did take me a second. Yeah. So it was James, not John. John was the one who was killed. Leo doesn't respond this time. I look back again and see that he's looking at me. What is it? You told me yourself, Leo, that you saw him sneaking around too. If it was someone else. How the hell do you know that? What are you guys talking about? Can you watch the door? I finally turn around. Leo leans on one hand on the back of Duke's chair as he sighs. If you remember, Chase, I told you about how I thought I saw someone outside my window that looked like you. Oh, that was the thing that we also saw. That was like the creepy otter thing that we saw last time. The one that really scared me to frickin' hell. That was what we saw. Hey! I'm not cute. I'm not cute and I never will be. Only Snaps are cute. But how's it going, Darius? Welcome on into the Blep Pack. The Blep welcomes you. Got drunk with this asshole and accidentally told him about it too. But we both saw it. Isn't it a little bit strange? Some otter came by the town that looked like Chase. What the hell else was it? Leo glances back at me and I feel like there's some doubt in his eyes. I mean, you weren't here, right? Of course I wasn't. I know, just making sure. Leo turns back. Hold on a minute. So, just a little callback to what they're talking about, right? So, yesterday when we played this, we got like this really like creepy version of us that we saw. Let me try to find it because it was also the picture that I was posting around in self promotions. See, can I get it there? Yeah, this. This is what we saw last time. Oh, I didn't mean to. So, apparently, what they're all seeing is this guy. The otter that looks like us. And that's also what we saw. Ugh, I'm still getting chills from that, dude. I absolutely hated that scene. Okay, but let's get back to the story. Leo turns back to Duke. Why would that mean anything anyway? Duke looks around, visibly clenching his toes. I've heard stuff about doubles, like doppelgangers or something. Doppelgangers? Sure, but people talked about that shit happening back then, and they see it themselves as well. Okay, so if we believe that shit, then why would it mean it has anything to do with anything? Well, my grandpappy said that the guy did it was in 2 or 3 places at once sometimes. There's a moment of silence as we all absorb that bit of information. Sounds like a load of shit to me, Duke. Duke jumps up to his seat. I'm just telling you what I know. So what's your solution to all this then? I don't know, it's stopping they got the guy. Duke cowers in the chair and glances at me. Leo follows his gaze and his eyes turn steely. Duke seems to notice Leo's sudden change in demeanor, but before he can do anything, he gets a massive slap from the wolf. Leo, stop it! Duke immediately starts sobbing again and curls in on himself. Me? This fucker wants to get at Chase! It did seem that way. Did Duke think the only way to stop all this was the problems in this town was to kill me? Duke? Kutsu tries a different approach, his voice much gentler than Leo's. The problem with your theory is that Chase hasn't killed anyone, right, Chase? Of course not. Of course not. So maybe we need to rethink things a little, huh? Or maybe he can do that in a fucking jail cell. We're going back to get my van, then we're gonna get the hell out of here. If we can, I'm still not sure about that thing the mayor was talking about. What thing? A monster or something? Mayor told us it's killing people that are trying to leave. Leo stares. Has the town really gone that fucking insane? Huh? I see why I'm not a snap. I'm a snap bat, so I can change it to a bat. Hey, but listen, you're still Darius, and you're still part snap. And you're still purple, and you're still cute. So, by your logic, you're saying that if you turn into a bat, but you still keep the same personalities and everything, then that denies your cuteness. But you're still Darius, and you still have the same personalities, and you're also purple still with the same patterns, so you, Darius, by fair argument, are still cute. Kutsu shrugs. There were bodies. Jesus. Leo looks around. Well, it still sounds like bullshit, but if there was anything, we'd be fine if we leave in a car. Yup, that is exactly how it works, Darius. I don't make the rules. I don't make the rules, Darius, but you're cute. I'm sorry, that's just how it needs to be. And you always will be cute, Darius. The motel is closer. We can use my car instead. Even though I admitted it yesterday. Hey, wait a minute. Then that means that you can't deny it anymore. You can't deny heckin' heck. I think I also still have that really, really, really old clip of when you were starting out on Twitch. And you actually admitted that you were cute. So I'm going to have to look through that. Because I am still certain, I'm quite certain actually, that I have it somewhere in my Google Photos. Hey DJ Dragon Beats, how's it going? Welcome on into the Blep Pack. The Blep welcomes ya. Sure. Duke is still staring at me with a hard look. I get the feeling that despite all the things that we just told him, he's not buying it. Leo hauls the weasel off the chair, getting a little squeak of pain from Duke as he's forced to break eye contact with me. What about the others? We're gonna try to find everyone before we can leave, but the priority is to get ourselves to a police station. I'm doing good, DJ. I mean, the stream so far has actually been pretty fun, so I mean, I won't complain about that. You know, we're starting to get more into the story too, so I'm actually enjoying it. Leo pulls me to stand in front of him before gesturing at Kutsu. Could take the gun. Safety's off now. Excuse me. Kutsu visibly frowns as I hand it to him. Yeah, sorry about that. I want Chase between us. I don't trust these fuckers to not try anything, especially if Brian comes back. So with Kutsu leading the way, we make our way out of Brian's house and into the night. It's quieter this time around, as we head out into the deserted night street. Seems like things have settled a little at least. Kutsu's fur is still bristled out into the back of his neck. I'm starting to worry about him. He's been tense even considering the situation that we're in. Keep your eyes peeled anyway. Of course. I've also been sensing a strange sort of tension between the two of them. It can probably be put up to the situation currently at hand, though. We're all on edge. I can see the motel a ways down the road, but ominously the lights are all out. Duke has gone quiet for the most part. I wonder if he's just given up or if he's just planning something. Hopefully it's just the former. I'm not really seeing anything out of the ordinary here. Trust me, things are fucked up. Past the diner, the moonlight glinting softly in its metal edges. A dark, sick feeling sets in as I stare at the black windows. That's where it all started. Should we check to see if she's still there? Leo's quiet behind me for a moment, then clears his throat. Don't see why we need to do that. I don't know, to tell the cops about it or something? If the cops haven't been there, then I'm sure that she's still in there. No use of looking inside. Alright. Hey, it's gonna be okay, alright? Well, not for Janice. Leo doesn't say anything to that as we continue down the road, finally reaching the motel parking lot. Keep moving. I look back behind me and see that Duke stopped, still looking back at the diner. I see something. What? Kutsu stops too, and look back at us. Something. I look back at the diner, but I see nothing moving in the windows or in front of it. It's way too dark for me to see anything in there anyway. Leo prods at Duke back, but the weasel refuses to move, rooted to the spot. Am I gonna have to carry you? Leo lets go Duke for just a moment, reaching up to turn him around, probably throw the weasel over his shoulder. Before he can do that, Duke screams, long and loud, and it raises all the hairs on the back of my neck. Before Leo can stop him, the weasel takes off into the night, away from the diner, toward a grouping of trees and bushes to the side of the road. Leo curses and immediately goes after him. Kutsu starts to follow. Don't follow me! Wait by the car! Leo shouts over his shoulder before disappearing into the brush. Then more faintly, and watch Chase! Kutsu and I stare into the darkness, listening to the two of them crash through the bush before fading out into silence. After a few moments, Kutsu rubs his head and turns to me. Well, guess we should get to the car then. I frown, not really worried that Duke can do much to Leo, but rather they'll just run into someone that could. Shouldn't be that hard to catch him. He's in handcuffs. Duke can be fast when he wants to be. Fuck. I feel like we should have gone with them. I keep staring out into the darkness of the brush, and Kutsu puts a hand on my shoulder as he pauses. Hey, don't worry. Leo can take care of himself, especially when he's up against like Duke. Handcuffed Duke. Yeah. Reluctantly, I follow the raccoon. Leo's brief presence had been so strong and reassuring. It's kind of jarring to be without it again. At the same time, though, it's not all that different with Kutsu. Leo's just more overpowering with it, I guess. I fish my keys out of my pocket, then suddenly realize where we're at. Hey, we should check her room. Jenna or TJ might be in there. Maybe even some of the others. Kutsu looks in the dark motel, scanning the rows of doors. Yeah, we should, but I think we should wait for Leo. I don't really trust anyone right now. I realize he's implying that one of my friends could have gone insane too, and I also realize I can't blame him. From what I saw and what I've heard, TJ might be acting the same way as Duke. That thought causes my stomach to turn sickly. Listen, I gotta pee real quick, okay? Okay. I'm just gonna go over behind that corner. He points over to the side of the motel. No problem. I'm getting just a little annoyed that everyone is acting like I'm a little kid that needs to be watched. Cool. Be right back. Kutsu does a little jog away before disappearing around the corner. I lean back against the door of the car, swinging the keys around a finger. Hey there, Smooth23. How's it going? Welcome on into the Blep Pack. The Blep welcomes ya. It's completely quiet now, and I haven't heard a single gunshot since we've gone inside. I wonder if everyone that's been fighting is dead now. Or maybe they just realized how ridiculous the mayor's story was and left. Thinking about the supposed monster that I definitely don't believe in, though, has me looking over my shoulder into the darkness. Images of a hanging body crosses my mind. Shit. I look over to where Kutsu went. It's been a little while. Shouldn't he be done by now? A pop from the brush across the street makes me jump. Leo? My voice comes out in a whisper. There's definitely something there. Its form stands out just a shade darker than the trees behind it. It might be a bush, but it looks thin like a person. I squint at the end of it, and that's when I see the glint of two eyes in the darkness, and I freeze. Whoever it is, they're not responding to me, and that's definitely not a good sign. I decide I'm not going to move until Kutsu gets here. Yeah, and if it does move, I'll just run over to where Kutsu went. I don't think he'll mind me catching him with his pants down if they're fucking psychopaths chasing after us. I see a thick tail swish out to the side of the dark. Oh, he's seeing the otter too! He's seeing our doppelganger otter thing. Slowly I feel myself for the keyhole to the car door, sliding in the key and unlocking it. Actually, I'll just get in the car and footsteps to my right. Duke, his eyes wild, is on me in an instant. He slams it to me so hard that I'm sent to the asphalt with an impact that rattles my brain. I roll over groggily and see Duke bent over, his hands fumbling at the ground. Somehow he's moved his handcuffed hands from behind himself to the front. I realize I don't have my keys anymore, and at the same time Duke stands up, his keys in hand. Kutsu! I yell and reach for Duke, who dodges away, throwing some kicks at me before yanking open my car door. Oh fuck! I lunge for the handle, but I see the weasel slam down the lock just as I reach it. Kutsu comes running around the corner just as Duke starts up the car. Duke! I shout uselessly at Kutsu as Duke peels out, yanking the handle from my grasp and forcing me to hop back a stop from being run over. Of course, I think Duke is just going to take down the road and get the hell out of Echo. I have no idea that he's going to turn sharply in the parking lot and come straight for me. Chase! Kutsu screams at me, just 20 feet away by now. But there's no time. The car is coming at me. I jump to the left, but Duke easily follows my movement. I see the license plate and the headlights, which Duke hasn't turned on. I jump and land at the hood of the car as it hits me. I feel like my body's falling through the air. I see the stars and the moon, and then I land. The dust stretches out in the woods into distance, rising and falling with mountains, hills, and valleys. It's endless, monolithic, passionless, except here. Its mark is clear on the land, like a stain, a blemish in the beige patchwork of the wilderness. The earth's bad, the air is bad, everything's tainted. The mark is old, is ancient, been here longer than people. All people. And they knew it too. Everyone who's been here knows it. So do you, even though you're not from here. You were drawn to the stain like all the other evil that's planted itself here. You can see it right through the otter's eyes. You see its influence stretched above you like black tendrils into a dark red sky. They stretch, search, reach for anything alive to stain anything they touch. So it is. So it always will be. Chase! I stare groggily up at the face above me. A swirling mess of gray and black before I'm able to focus on the nose just inches away from my own. That crosses my eyes, which hurts, so I close them again. Chase. The voice is gentler this time, so no less concerned. I try to reach my hand up to assure whoever it is that I'm fine. I feel the soft velvety sensation of an ear patch between my fingers and the person above me stills. What happened? Are you guys okay? I mumble thickly past lips that don't seem to cooperate with words that don't seem to make sense. Are you? He hit you really hard. I feel a hand run over to the top of my head like it's looking for something. Did you hit your head? I feel my own head, keeping my other hand from resting on Kutsu's head. That's right. Kutsu. I push myself up, suddenly realize where I am and what just happened. I look around the night, the surreal feeling of regaining consciousness in this nightmare making it all the more horrific. Shit, where is he? I try to push myself up, but Kutsu holds me down firmly. Duke? He took off. Somewhere. Kutsu looks around, his ears pointed up as if listening before looking back down at me as I try to sit up again. You need to stay down for now. Something might be injured. I think I'm okay, just a little bit out of it. Kutsu gazes down at me, and for a moment I'm left staring into his deep dark eyes. That's when the sound of feet slapping against the asphalt breaks the spell, and Kutsu looks behind himself. What the hell? Duke just... Ah! Kutsu is suddenly shoved roughly away, and I find myself held up in Leo's arms. What the fuck happened? Leo desperately looks up at me, and he holds me in his arms. Did he shoot you? What? No, he hit me with the car. I see Leo's eyes widen and his ears shoot up. He suddenly turns his attention on Kutsu, hackles raised. What the fuck were you doing, Kud? Why weren't you watching him? Kutsu flinches back and glares. He came out of nowhere, Leo. We were both trying to stop him. I can see Leo working himself up to shout something else, but that's when I push myself out of his strong grip. Despite the circumstances, I'm bristling at the way I'm being coddled. Leo! He was driving a fucking car. There wasn't anything that we could do. Now standing, I feel an achy sensation in my back, and my head spins a little. I brace my hands up on my knees and wait for it to subside. I don't think you should be standing up so soon. I'm fine. Now I'm standing, I'm not completely sure of that. Worrying twinges and creaks of pain throughout my body, but I force myself to straighten up, facing the other two. We need to keep moving. Find the others and get out of here. Leo moves next to me, a big paw reaching out to wrap over my shoulder. I cringe, though, and Leo takes his hand back. You need me to carry you, honey? I grimace and shake my head, though, mostly because I feel like being slung over his back would be even worse. He settles on rubbing my back gently, his eyes still looking me over as if he was trying to spot some unseen injury. Let's get the hell to Payton. Kudzu coughs awkwardly. We've lost the car, though. Oh, yeah. My heart sinks. Even now in this situation we're in, I'm a little angry that it was my car that was stolen. I worked hard to buy that thing, even if it was just a junker. Leo shakes his head like it's a mild annoyance. Then we'll just have to use my van instead. Leo looks up the road in the direction of the diner where he left it 2 days ago. Wait, let's at least check the motel, see if any of the others are in our room. Otter, I'm sure the others have already gone out by now. I mean, we haven't heard anything from them, from any of them, though. And when they have brought the police or something? Leo looks back at the motel, chewing his lip. Alright, but let's be fucking quick about it. We need to get the hell out of here so we can get everyone help. Welcome back, Rocky, and oh boy, I am not prepared for what's gonna happen next. But the frickin' skeleton took our car. Ugh. I reach into my back pocket, pulling out the key card as I hobble in the direction of our room on the other side of the building. Kuchi reaches out to me. You need help? Leo shoulders the raccoon aside as he practically jumps to my side, gently pressing a hand into my back again. Stay close, Otter. I'm not gonna let something like that happen to you again. I try to ignore the tension I feel building between the other two. More than anything, I'm annoyed at Leo. No! Why is he acting like this? Sure, he was always a little jealous, but right now I'm in the middle of this hellscape of chaos. I shake my head, allowing the wolf to guide me with his hand. Just let him help you at the very least. I shake my... Okay, Kudzu stays close behind us, and I look back at him and give him a small smile to show that I at least appreciate his concern for me. He gives me a short nod back, but otherwise doesn't say anything. Like most of the town, the back of the motel is completely deserted as far as I can see. Skeleton? Listen, he looks like a literal frickin' skeleton. Duke looks like a frickin' skeleton. Like, well, first of all, how the hell is he able to drive with handcuffs? I don't know. Like most of the town, the back of the motel is completely deserted as far as I can see. Another pop that's probably a gunshot echoes in the distance, but I'm thankful they aren't happening every minute like earlier. You're defending him. Listen here, mister. Listen here. Listen. If there is a big hunky waff in a story, I'm gonna go with the big hunky waff. I know, I'm a basic bitch, but I love it. I love wolves. Wolves are... wolves, we gotta stick together. Again, I wonder if it's because everyone's dead. As fucked up as it is, I think that might be a good thing for us. As long as it doesn't involve any one of my friends. We reach the door of the motel, and my heart sinks again as I see there's no light coming from the window. Shakily, I raise the keycard to press it against the lock, only to accidentally drop it. I start to bend over to pick it up, but Leo puts a hand on my shoulder, speaking gently into my ear. Don't move, Otter. He sweeps up the card and presses it into the lock. It flashes green, and I hear the electric buzz at the lock coming unlatched before Leo presses down on the door handle, then pauses. His other hand suddenly reaches out behind me towards Kudzu. We'll see how that goes, Kudzu. Hand me my gun. I'll give you Duke's. Kudzu stares at the hand for a moment, then jumps, as if suddenly realizing what the wolf is talking about. Oh, right. Kudzu lifts his shirt, fumbling with the waistband before pulling out the gun. He hands it to Leo, who in turn hands him Duke's gun. He checks the safety on his own before pointing it towards the door. Leo pauses again, then glances at me. Otter, behind me. Leo nods back to the wall next to the door. I only feel a little twinge of resentment of being treated like a child again, but I'm too eager to check the room to say anything. Finally, Leo gives the door a gentle shove, allowing it to swing open on its own. I can't see anything from behind Leo, but judging by the look on Kudzu's face next to me, they don't see anything. I realize why Leo slowly reaches inside and flips the light switch. I can't resist and peek around Leo's bulk into the motel room. I don't know what I was expecting. Maybe a blood-splattered room with all of our friends' bodies piled up in the middle or something? Instead, though, it's basically just how I remember it. I even see my pajamas crumpled up on the side of my bed where I left them. Leo holds steadily for a moment, keeping the gun pointed at the ceiling of the room. Finally, he leans in, whispering loudly. Hello? There's no response. Leo waits just a little while longer before finally moving forward slowly. I don't wait for Leo's approval to follow. I move closer behind him, Kudzu just behind me. There isn't much to search for in the motel room, having just the room and the bathroom to check. Once Leo's sure it's clear, I shut the door and locked it before turning to the other two. Just so we know that we're safe, for now at least. Leo shakes his head. We gotta keep moving, Chase. We should head back to my place now. I opened Jenna's laptop on the table, pushing the power button. Come on, what are you doing? Leo shifts his weight from one foot to the other. Kudzu moves to the stand next to me. Checking the internet? I was hoping to. I sigh as I stare at the password screen. Well, let me check with my phone. Leo sighs again. That's not gonna help us. I have Wi-Fi calling. Leo sighs again and sits heavily on the bed, bending it like a bow. He sets his gun on the bedside table before rubbing his face vigorously with both hands. You okay? Saying that Leo's been on edge is an understatement. And sure, we're all fucked up right now, but the way the wolf's been acting, it's like he's a different person. Leo lets his hand slide down his face so he can peer over at me with his fingertips. He examines me for a while, then finally reaches out with both hands. Come here, Chula. I almost hesitate, and I'm not sure why. I walk over to him and stand in front of the wolf before he reaches out and pulls me down with his lap. Then he presses my head against his chest before wrapping his arms around me. He starts stroking the back of my neck gently, and it makes me shiver. It all feels a little forced, and we don't meld together naturally like we always used to. I'm sorry about letting all this happen. I should have told the police when Duke started threatening earlier. Do you know what's happening? You see, he does care for us. This is why I love wolves. Do you guys see that now? Leo takes in another breath and his broad chest swells against my cheek before he blows it out, ruffling the fur on my head. I don't know. I really don't. I notice Kudzu standing on the side, clearly trying to not look at us. Any internet? Kudzu looks up and shakes his head. No, I can't find a network. Damn it. Did that bear do anything to you? The hesitation in Leo's voice makes it clear that he's really asking. It sounds like he's been wanting to ask it for a while. No, he just tied me up for a while. I guess technically he did do more in a way, but I don't want to go into that right now. The whole incident actually seems like a long time ago already. Janice's murder, getting near raped by Brian, trying to kill Brian. I feel like there's numbness in my chest that's dampening my emotions right now, and everything feels like that's far away from me. I don't know, Leo gets jealous pretty easily, and so... Listen here, mister! I already had a feeling that was going to be like the worst possible decision. And sure enough, it was the worst possible decision. That's why we have 2 saves. But, hold on, let me also save here. I'll go to page 1. That's why we have this save here. We have the diner save here. And then we also have the gun save here. So wow, there is a lot of options that we can choose than what Carl's route did. Well, Leo said, listen! Listen, I'm sorry! Listen, I am a huge simp for Leo, okay? I am a huge simp for wolves in general. You didn't trust Leo when you played it first? Why? Leo's a good boy. You know, look, I get it. He can... I'll give you credit where credit is due. He can be a little bit of a bad boy, but he just cares about us. Like, look, he bleps, he cares about us, and he just wants, you know, to have like another shot with us. That is absolutely fucking adorable. Where did I buy my... What do you mean? He hated Leo. Listen! Don't be mean to Leo. I'm sorry. Look at him. You're making him sad. You're making Leo sad. It's okay, Leo. It's okay. You don't have to listen to them. I wonder if that's some kind of psychological response to whatever's happening. I'll be fucked up after this is over. Probably. But I kind of welcome the numbness right now. At least it helps me deal with what's happening a little easier. Jenna will probably be able to tell me what's happening right now if she were here. Of course, that makes me wonder where she and the others are. It makes me want to get out there and find them. because as much as I want to get the hell out of this place, I feel kind of responsible for them. I did drag them all out here after all. I'm gonna get you out of here, I promise. Leo breathes into my ear and squeezes me a little tighter. I have to hold back a wince as the twinge goes through my back. I have a feeling that I'm going to be very sore tomorrow. I suddenly lift my head back to look at Kudzu. What time is it? Kudzu takes his phone back out of his pocket to check. 3. Jesus! 3 4. How? Are you serious? That means it's only been a little more than an hour since we left Kudzu's place. I was hoping that daylight would be a bit closer than that. Kudzu slumps down in the chair at the table. That's what my phone says. Leo is a cutie. You see? See? Leo is a cutie. He's a good boy. I glance up at him and see that his eyes are closed as he continues to stroke the back of my head. I'm about to tell him that we should get moving again when I hear something. It's a soft snuffling sound like someone's covering up the sniffing. I lay there against Leo, not moving as I continue to listen. Full 10 seconds go by before it happens again. This time I think it's coming from below us. Under the bed! I look up at Leo again, wondering how to tell him. I heard something without saying it out loud. Honestly, with his massive wolf ears, he should have heard it before I did. I reach up and poke at his chin. Leo shakes his head a bit around the poking, but otherwise doesn't open his eyes. I frown and I reach up further, touching his cheek. He leans into it. Leo? I whisper. What did I do? What did I do? Okay, that was weird. Yeah, I pressed D. I pressed D by accident, and then that happened. I barely whispered at him. Finally, he does open his eyes, and I point at my own ear to mouthing, "Listen." I see his ears comically perk up, his eyes looking at the ceiling. I motion down at the bed. I can see Kudzu to the side from his chair, eyeing us carelessly, but not saying anything otherwise, thankfully. This time the snuffling sound is a bit louder, and I feel Leo's fur rise up on his arms. That was definitely a person, or something living and breathing. At least, it definitely came from under the bed. Leo slowly and gently pushes me off his lap, motioning me away. Slowly he leans over and grabs up the gun. Then he stands, backing up away from the bed, then crouching slowly with the gun pointed as he looks under the bed. I see Leo pause, staring, then he reaches out and grabs whatever it is and yanks hard. Ah! The scream is loud and piercing. Whatever it was sounded like a terrified child. It thrashes and kicks at Leo, and when it's clawing frantically at the carpet to get back under the bed, I realize who it is. I knew it! I knew it! It was TJ! I shout his name, confused and terrified at myself. What the hell? Calm down! Leo's got both his hands on TJ's ankles, trying to keep him still while at the same time not getting gouged by the toe claws. I move closer, though, try not to get clawed by the links, and try to crouch in his line of sight. TJ, it's us! You're okay! The look in his eyes is wild and desperate and feral. I reach out for his wrist, and he immediately slashes at me with his other hand. Chase, stay back! I fall back on my butt and scoot away a little, wide-eyed. I've never seen TJ like this. Of course I haven't. I can't imagine what could have made him like this. I scramble up and stand next to Kudzu, who is just as wide-eyed as me. Despite that, he sidesteps a little in front of me as if to shield me from the insane TJ. Leo finally drops the cat's legs, and before TJ can scramble back under the bed, Leo jumps on his back. I wince as I'm sure I can hear TJ deflate like a tire from Leo's weight. The wolf snatches up TJ's arms, pitting them against his back as he leans over the link, shouting into his ear. TJ, stop! Stop fighting! It's me, Leo! Leo! TJ continues to writhe, making weird yowling noises that I'd never heard him make before. TJ, it's me! It's your friends! We're here to help you, man! Leo's voice is quiet and more soothing as he tries to calm down the crazed links. It seems to be working so far as TJ's violent thrashing lessens, his yowling and fading out to more feeble whining sounds. See? I'm here now. You're gonna be fine. Finally, TJ's head falls to the carpet, everything going limp. TJ sits on the bed, cross-legged as he rests his back against the headboard. I gave him a blanket when I saw him shivering, and he got and he's got that draped over his shoulders, holding it tightly around himself. It hasn't stopped the whining. It hadn't stopped the shivering, though. I seem to be the only one who he doesn't flinch at when we get close, so I sit next to him on the bed. Awkwardly, I put my arm around him, but he seems to take comfort in that and leans against me. The smell of sweat and piss is strong, but I don't say anything. Leo, meanwhile, sits at the end of the other bed, gently trying to tell TJ to tell us what the hell happened. Was someone chasing you? Is someone here? TJ shivers against me and I pat his shoulder. He looks at me, and then I see his fur completely matted to his face like he's been crying non-stop. I notice bits of dead leaves on his head too, along with some dirt. What the hell had he been doing? Leo continues to prod gently into Lynx with his questions. If he can tell us, we might be able to stop it, or at least watch out for what we have to, or at least watch out for it before we leave. TJ looks at Leo, then opens his mouth, making a squeaking noise. He swallows loudly, then tries again. Do we have any water? It sounds like he has an extremely sore throat. I look over at the sink, but Kudzu jumps off the chair and he's sitting on it and makes his way to it. Oh, poor TJ, man. He grabs up to one of the small plastic cups before running to the faucet. TJ watches him until the raccoon brings him a cup back over. TJ drops the blanket around his shoulders and reaches out eagerly for the cup. We all watch intently as he loudly swallows giant gulps of water before lowering it from his lips and gasping for air. Leo smiles encouragingly. Careful, don't drown yourself. TJ stares, then shivers again much more violently. I grip him more tightly. Hey, you cold? I grab up the blanket and try to tuck it around his shoulders better. Kinda. Not really. I feel cold, but... TJ rubs at his chest. He's still trembling, and I realize he might be in shock. I don't know what to do for that. In every TV show I've seen, the person is just given a shiny blanket when they sit on the side of the road. So I just continue to rub his shoulder and strike his emotions, trying to be soothing. I wish Jenna were here. She'd know what to do. He leans against me again, though, so I feel like I'm doing the right thing. He holds out the cup to Kudzu again. Can I get some more, please? Sure. Kudzu takes the cup delicately from TJ, like the links might break. When Kudzu moves off to the sink again, TJ leans towards me, whispering, That guy plays soccer with us, right? Yeah, he did. Right. TJ goes back to leaning against me and staring at the wall. While this isn't good, he does seem to be getting better. He can recognize this again, and remember stuff at least. Leo adjusts himself on the bed, clearing his throat again. Tej, if you can't remember it, that's okay, but I just want to make sure no one's coming after you. TJ blinks and shakes his head. No, I don't think so. Leo waits, but TJ doesn't say anything more. No one? You, were hiding, so... Leo clearly doesn't want to upset the Lynx, but it makes sense why he wants to know. If there's someone lurking out there hunting TJ down, we could be in a lot of danger right now. We have to wait though, because he comes back with the cup. TJ takes a few more big gulps before looking back up at Leo. I thought I saw something. I kept seeing things. I think I need to go home. Let me adjust my mic a bit. I stare hard at TJ, studying him. I don't know why, but I guess the thought that we'd all be exempt from this hysteria. I knew we were all normal, at least to an extent. This whole crazy chaos seemed too foreign, too different for it to affect my friends and people I knew that were grounded or normal people. That's exactly what TJ was. And now? Leo stands up and steps closer, sitting down slowly next to TJ on the opposite side of the bed. We are going to go home, Tej. We just have to go on a walk up to my car first. Leo reaches out and sets a hand on TJ's leg, and I'm glad to see that he doesn't flinch at all. He's really calming down. Okay. TJ suddenly opens up the blanket around himself, staring down at his clothes. I see his nose twitching, then the skin inside of his ears flushes. Can I take a shower? Leo pauses, clearly not having expected that. Well, we really need to get going. Don't you want to get home and take a shower there? TJ has put the blanket back over himself, trying to hide his pants. I just like to feel clean again. I feel like it might be a good thing for him to clean off, maybe have some alone time. I give Leo a meaningful look as I lower my voice gently for TJ. Sure, man. We'll wait. I feel so bad for TJ, too. I genuinely feel bad for him, because... it's like what you said, Rocky. He is an absolutely pure and innocent being. TJ slowly pushes himself off the bed to stand on unsteady legs. Both of his hands not so subtly shield his crotch as he walks to the dresser. Okay, just don't leave, okay? We won't. Leo's still using his talk to a toddler voice. The wolf gave me a frustrated look, but I ignore it. And I'm gonna leave the door open, so if something happens, just yell. It's fine, and nothing's gonna happen, okay? Yeah, okay. TJ pulls out some pants from the dresser before making his way to the bathroom. He keeps glancing back at us like we're going to disappear if he looks away for too long. I try to give him a cheerful smile until he finally disappears into the bathroom. We all sit around in sort of a circle in the motel room, Leo and I on the beds and Kutsu in the chair. We keep our voices low as we discuss what's going on, not wanting TJ to hear. This doesn't make sense. TJ's one of the most rational people I know. How is this affecting him? We don't know what's causing it, though. I don't know. I thought it was drugs or something. They all just took the same drug? I don't know. Or maybe they're all crazy because of drugs or something and set it off. Well, TJ is religious. So? So if he believes in that, then maybe it could go further than that. I shake my head. No, that doesn't make sense. People in cults do it all the time. But he's not in a cult. It's all kind of the same thing if you think about it. Your whole family's super religious, Leo. Yeah, so I have first-hand experience with all of it. Leo chuckles despite the situation. It just makes me wonder if this is something more than what's in everyone's head, even if TJ's having it happen. Kutsu taps his chin from the chair that he's sitting on. What was it that Duke was saying about his grandpa? Something about a curse? Leo waves his hand like he's swatting away a fly. Pooh, chicha. Speaking of all the shit that doesn't make sense. Kutsu shrugs. I'm starting to wonder. I fold my arms around and look to the bathroom where the stream is wafting from TJ's shower. Well, stop wondering. I don't want you ending up like them. I frown and glance back at the bathroom before lowering my voice. Like TJ? Leo sighs. No, one of those fuckers probably freaked him out or something. He did say he was seeing things. Leo suddenly stands up from his sitting position onto the bed. You know what? We should just stop talking about this. We'll leave him once he's done anyway. As if on cue, the water shuts off and the automatic dryer starts up. Right after that, TJ's meek voice pipes up from inside the bathroom. You guys still there? I call back gently, cheerfully. We're here, TJ. Leo sighs and moves to the window to look outside, pulling back the curtain just a bit. You think the others are out there right now? Your friends? Yeah, Jenna, Carl, and Flynn. I don't know why I hesitated with Flynn's name. Leo silently stares out the window while longer the yellow light of the street falling across his face momentarily. He lets it drop back into place. With any luck, they got the hell out of here when it started. Like I said, if they did, they would have brought someone back. Really, if anyone got out, then they would have. Leo doesn't say anything, electing to lift the gun that he's clutching his. Electing to lift the gun that he's had elected in his this entire time to examine it. Does that mean no one's gotten out of here? There's a momentary silence. Hold on, I'll be right back. Okay, sorry about that, you guys, but we are back. Hey, welcome on in. Hold on a minute. There's something wrong with my headsets. Let me restart my headsets real quick. Okay, there we go. Okay, but oh, hey Dobie, how's it going? Yeah, sorry about that, you guys. But without further ado, let's get right back into it. Hello? I'm still here, Tej. Kuzi shifts in the chair. Well, a lot of us here have relations outside the family. Family working paid in fact. Kuzi checks his phone again. I'm supposed to be in work in like 5 hours. Someone's gotta know this. Hey Aquos, how's it going? Welcome on in. And hold on a minute, you guys. My headsets are acting up, and I don't know why, so let me also fix that. Okay, so here's what I'm gonna do, you guys. Hold on, what the heck? It's not even picking up sound anymore. Hold on a minute. Let me make a save point here. And let me quit the game and let me see if that fixes something. My god, please don't tell me that my fucking headsets just died right now. And I don't mean like battery died, I mean like the speakers just died. Oh. Well, that's fucking great. So I know that you guys can hear music coming from your side, but I cannot hear anything from my side. And OBS is definitely picking up stuff, but for whatever reason, my headset speakers are no longer working. Use your laptop speakers? Wait, hold on. Can I actually adjust that? No, I can't do that because my headsets are also plugged in. Okay, you guys. So, this is kind of fun. No, like, Aquos, like, literally, both of my headset speakers have just died. Because I'm not getting anything from the right side, and I'm not getting anything from the left side. What the fuck? Okay, that is actually really irritating. Okay, can you actually help me out with that? Because, again, like, I can't hear anything that are coming out of my headsets right now. Like, my mic is definitely working, but I mean I don't get it either because I just had these things for only a year. That's literally how old that these things are. It's literally only a year old. Hold on a minute. Let me try something. I haven't tried these out yet. Well, I have. I mean, I've tried fitting them on my head, but they slide right off. But let me see if I can try to use like a different headset. Maybe that'll work. I'm not sure how the mic is gonna sound for this one because I haven't tested it, but I mean, it is what it is. No, Aquos, like I'm actually dead serious. Like my headsets like my headset speakers have actually died. Cuz my my left side or no, the right side died beforehand and now the left side isn't working either. So that's fantastic. And the drivers are already on the updated ones, so I can't really do anything about that either. Okay, well, looks like I'm gonna have to go get these things fixed, and thank God that Logitech lets me have a 2-year warranty on it. So let me try something out, you guys. Don't go anywhere. Okay, so I tried on some other headsets and those didn't work either. Okay, well, wow. I I'm just stunned. I'm just stunned that that my headset just died right here and now. I do, Aquos, I do. But even if you, like, even if you were trying to communicate with me there, then I wouldn't be able to hear you. Okay, yeah, because again, like, I'm not even joking. I'm like I tried like tapping like both sides to see if maybe like it'll turn back on, but nothing is popping up. That's great. And how is this? How is this surprise? I'm making. I don't. I don't know. I didn't know that you were doing a surprise for me. But, ladies and gentlemen, Bleppack and all, your fellow Bleppers headsets have just died. Meaning that I can't hear anything from both the left side or the right side, but the mic apparently still seems to be working, and OBS still seems to be picking up anything that comes out of the game, but it is definitely not picking up anything from my side. I actually just try seeing if maybe like wired mode would help, but no, I think the speakers are actually shot. Yeah, it's not. Okay, well, probably from this day forward, um, I might have to postpone streams because, again, I can't hear anything that's coming out from my side. That's real great. Okay. Okay, well, I mean, we should probably try to continue this even though I can't hear anything anymore. Oh, for God's sake. What now? Okay, well, let's try to continue with this. Maybe we should wait until morning? Someone has got to be looking for someone here by then. Leo thrust the gun back into his waistband resolutely. Nope, relying on other people has gotten us nowhere. We gotta help ourselves. He might have a point, Leo. Your friend looks like it's in pretty bad shape, like mentally. I'll carry his ass to the van. I'm leaving, and I'm not leaving any of you behind. Leo stops, and I follow his gaze to the bathroom where TJ stepped out, his fur a little damp and spiky from a shower, and a fresh change of clothes. He stands there awkwardly a moment, rubbing his arm as we all stare at him. Hey, how are you feeling? I'm fine. Things are more clear now. Leo smiles gently. Good. So you remember who we all are? TJ smiles weakly. Yeah, again, things are clear, and you guys don't have to talk to me like that. Like? Like I'm crazy. Ah, sorry. I clear my throat and try to assume I'm try to assume unless I'm talking to a crazy person tone. Do you think we can make it to Leo's? We can stay here if you want. Wait for someone to find us. I ignore Leo's exasperated sigh from behind me. TJ glances at the bed. I'd like to just lay down, but he looks back up at us, clasping his hands together. I think something is happening here. Doing something to our heads? I don't know. Leo narrows his eyes. What do you mean? Uh, TJ looks off to the side. I just saw things that shouldn't be here. This has never happened to me before, so. TJ looks down at his hands. I remember someone was chasing me, trying to grab me, and I scratched at it. TJ looks back up at us. And it was Jenna, but I was too scared. I didn't know if it was really her or not, so I ran, and she didn't follow me. TJ's starting to shiver again. What did she look like when you didn't know her was her exactly? TJ frowns, opening his mouth to say something, then closes it again. Finally, he looks up at Leo, apparently decided to ignore the question. Can we find her? I can't stop thinking about it, and I want to make sure she's okay. His voice gets a little broken, but he manages to control his tears this time. Leo grimaces. We really need to go to TJ. We really need to go, TJ. The faster we can get help, the faster we can help everyone here, including Jenna. The corners of TJ's mouth tug down into a frown, but he doesn't say anything. But if we see it on the way, of course we'll bring her with us, okay? TJ's still looking like he's trying not to cry, but nods quickly. Leo rolls his shoulders, keeping the gun pointed at the ground as he moves to the door. Now, everyone, stay close to me. Chase, keep with TJ. Kudzu, you bring up the rear. Got it? Alright. We're just gonna head up to the street to the diner. Not far at all. I look up at TJ, trying to give him a reassuring smile. He's still looking down at his hands though, so I move over to him, putting an arm around his shoulder, gently guiding him to the door. The trek to the diner practically silent compared to just a few hours ago. Aside from the nightlife, there's no screaming or shooting. The way there is fairly straightforward, straight down the main road. However, we decide to cut through the backyards instead of using the road. Leo tells us it's the best way not to be seen if there are people around. TJ keeps close to me, wanting me to keep my arm around his shoulder as we move. His eyes are either squeezed shut or staring straight ahead. It's like we're moving through a haunted house, and he too is terrified to look in either direction. It does get too difficult to keep him that close though, especially as we start to have to move through the bushes to hop fences. I opt to hold his hand instead. In any other situation, I'm sure TJ would have been running for the hills in embarrassment, but he clings to me like he's never going to let go. We all move in silence through the brush. The quiet is actually almost as unnerving as the shouts and gunshots were. As we move under a few story trees, I keep in my memory seeing the corpse strung up out of my head. There's no way Deemer, whatever they said it was, did that. It was one of the town crazies, killed him and mutilated that person to convince us of the delusions. There's 4 of us now, and 2 of us have guns. We're gonna be fine. We can get to only after 5 minutes, though most of it is spent floundering through the brush and old broken fences. Because of the mendering, we actually miss it and have to backtrack. Cautiously, we make our way around to the diner at the parking lot and immediately spot the lone van. When we finally do get there, Leo jogs up to his van, shoving a hand into his pocket. But then he freezes and he stares down. Fuck. Me and TJ arrived next to Leo, and TJ finally lets go of my hand. What is it? I ask, but I see a problem at the same time that I do. The 2 tires that I can see are brutally slashed and completely flat. I bet that the other 2 are in the same way. Leo puts his hands up to his face, rubbing his eyes vigorously with his paws. Who did that? TJ reaches out and grasps my hand again. Kuji moves over to the other side of the van to inspect it. Brian. Leo growls out the name. How'd you know? Leo doesn't say anything, sitting down on his haunches as he stares at the completely destroyed wheel. Who's that? TJ asks quietly from beside me, studying my expression. I wonder if I should tell him. Probably not. Him scared of seeing things is bad enough. We don't need TJ to be worried about an actual person who's out to kill us. I'd actually completely forgotten about the bear up until this point. If it truly was him, then we're even more danger than I thought. It's just another person that we saw. He was acting weird, it's alright. TJ doesn't seem to take much comfort in that, staring at the tires. Whether or not it was Brian, whoever did a number on the tires, completely tearing the rear tire to shreds. Kuta comes from around the side of the van, shaking his head. Other two tires are the same. How far do you think we get on flats? Leo lets out a ragged growl, standing back up. Not far enough. Probably get to the lake before the goddamn wheels fall off. Leo stands there, thinking. Should we just go back to the motel? Leo shakes his head. No, I'm not staying here another minute. I'd rather start walking, actually. To the highway? That'd take half the day. Well, we'd at least be getting somewhere instead of sitting around here. I look down the main street toward the darkness of the lake and desert. The ominous feeling I get is overwhelming, like I have no doubt that if we set out into the desert, we wouldn't last long at all. I don't know why. I shudder violently and TJ glances at me. He squeezes my hand and I find it funny how quickly the role of the one doing the reassuring has flipped. I think we should go back to the motel. Leo finally looks back at me and I see the expression soften. Hey, Otter, it's gonna be fine. I'm gonna get us out of here, okay? I notice the same tone that he used TJ earlier. He sets his hand on my shoulders, but I honestly don't feel very reassured. TJ pipes up from next to me. Carl's house has some more cars. Maybe he's there and we could leave him and the car. Leo looks up toward the hilltop where Carl's house is at. We can't see it since all the lights are apparently off. Maybe. If he's not there, we could just break in. I see TJ's Blanche next to me. Even now he's battling his moral values versus our needs to survive. I still just want to go to the motel, hole up in there, and wait. Maybe sleep. I'd give anything just to be able to lie down somewhere safe right now. But now, with the new possible factor of Brian, I can see the benefit of getting the hell out here right now. Alright. Leo sets his jaw, narrowing his eyes. Let's go. Remember to stay close. Okay, I'm gonna stop it right here. For today, you guys. And I'm just gonna let the title screen menu play. But yeah, thanks for hanging out with me today. As much as I would like to play more, I am gonna find out what to do for like getting everything fixed up, because I'm not sure if you noticed, but that grinding noise on the back is actually from my laptop because the fans are starting to go bad. So I gotta find a way to get that figured out. Let's see, who's someone that I haven't raided in a while, or who's someone new that we could go raid. You know what? Let's go visit Sunny. Let's go visit Sunny Dingo. Whoops. So yeah, I'll see you guys all at whatever point where I'll probably get all this fixed. But yeah, thanks so much for hanging with me. If you haven't join our server. And then this will be our raid message for the raid. I'll see you all soon. Stay safe. Take care. Bye-bye.